like a recap of how I ended up on making negative 1 RR. Only had one trade this week, and that one trade led into a loss. I did have a trade on the day before that, but I didn't take my main account, so I'm not gonna count it. But it was a loss there, and it was not in my setup. And we're gonna talk about that as well. But we're gonna primarily talk about the Friday trade. But wondering, well, like negative 1 RR, the trade went in a win. How the fuck did you lose? We're gonna talk about that as well, right? We took a secondary entry instead of the first initial entry. There's no secondary chances, right? So now let's get straight into it. Our whole weekly boss was bearish, right? So we had a weekly, ERL to IRL weekly to the downside, another weekly CR to the downside, a daily premium, ERL to this kind of IRL because we had a daily range here, special daily range as well. We had a daily CRT to the downside and then a daily to the downside as well. And that's all we had. We had a classic percent profile 2 to the downside and Monday high of the week. Monday, no setup. Tuesday, no setup. Well, Wednesday, no setup. Thursday was a setup here. Thursday was no setup by the way as well. To my actual entry, there was no setup, so I'm not accounting as a setup. But Thursday, we definitely did have a entry here. What did we do on Thursday? Was we thought this was a near continuation, right? So we thought that this was a near continuation, so we shorted it down. Right, so we took this short right around somewhere. I think the threshold is we took it. Right. To the threshold, stop us there, and we got stopped out and made the market went down away, right? So we're probably wondering, well, what's the lesson of this? So the reason why this one went a loss is because if I'm bearish, I would need the London session or the Asian to make the high of the day, right? In this case, the 5 a.m. at the high of the day. 5 a.m. is usually for New York reversal. If the 5 a.m. makes it a high or low of the day, that means market is a New York reversal profile. 5 a.m. or 9 a.m., right? In this case, the 5 a.m. at the high. So I'm no longer looking for a fucking, a near continuation. I'm looking for a near reversal. On time, I'm looking for a near continuation if the 1 a.m. or the it should make the high of the day, right? In this case, in this specific case, right? In this case, didn't make that. He just made the 5 a.m. So he was a near reversal instead of a near continuation here, right? If it was a near reversal, I could have fucking just, let's just say I broke my rule here, right? Which I never do, right? Even if I were to broke my rule, I would have taken this one, not this one. This is fucking stupid taking this trade right over here, right? So if I'm looking for a New York reversal, if I'm looking for a trade here, I would have taken this, not this. This is not a fucking New York situation. A New York situation is when the Asian or let's just make the high of the day. If you're bearish, right? Not the low of the day, and 5 a.m. cannot make the high of the day or the low of the day, right? I mean, if you're bearish in this case, the 5 a.m. cannot make the high of the day. Only the London session or the Asian can make the high of the day, right? So that's the lesson for that trade. The primary lesson is the New York continuation only occurs when the Asian or the lunch makes the high of day, high of day, not the 5 a.m. The 5 a.m. is a New York Russell, so the setup was not in our setup, right? And another lesson is do not FOMO in, do not be greedy, and shit like that as well. Right, so the next day, the same analysis paralysis, right? We had a 4-hour CRT, daily range as well. Markets had the premium daily range, we go down to daily range low. We had a 4 range here as well, right? This for a CRT, the daily SMT CRT to the downside. Why did the market not go all the way down to the daily CRT low? Was simply because of the, this low is protected as an S&P version of the DXY. So this low protected until next week, right? Next week is probably gonna get respect of it, but this week is protected here, right? This Friday, so if it's Friday and there's a couple lows here, he's not going to go to his lows. Why is the market not going to go to his lows? Because these lows are right near each other, right? So if this low is protected, these lows are not highlighted, they're going to get met, right? So yeah, that's what we went over there. And we're looking for a new continuation this time because the H made the high of the day, right? The 17 o'clock made the high. If I'm bearish, I wanted to make the high, right? Which he did make the high. So now if we go to low time frame, we got an outlet CRT here. Right, outlet CRT 6 a.m. 7 a.m. per 6 a.m. CRT, and eventually the 9 a.m. when they continue. And the one we took was the fucking 8 a.m. to 7 a.m., which is a secondary, entry. Which is this is the mistake I made. This mistake right over here. I counted new because I had 2 subs in a day. I was like, oh shit, 2 subs in a day. Let me just take this one, right? This one sounds better. Gives me more R. Took this one and I fucking found out that only the initial entry that matters. Anything after that is a manipulation, right? I've seen, my clients encounter this problem where they say, okay, I had an entry all over here, right? That was his in his entry, right? Eventually he thinks, okay, he either woke up late or he looked at the chart later, he misses the initial entry, so he looks, there's another entry for you to take him, right? He's the entry, he stopped out, it goes right back lower, right? And it's not that far back there. But he shorts this right over here, he gets stopped out and goes right back lower, right? So you're like, oh yeah, that always happens because you got manipulated because your initial entry is all over here, right? Only enter your initial entry day by by that specific day, right? And this rules only applies to this specific day, not the other days, right? The other days I can take a different, I can take a whole different trade, right? But it only applies to the specific days that we're trading, right? So the one I took short, I took this, SMT Marble one happened. I took a short. I got stopped out instantly. Eventually, might give us another Marble one. That one delivered to the drawn liquidity, but without that one, I'm not gonna take it because I'm not. If I mess up with one spot, I don't want other spots to get messed up. So I didn't take that trade. But that one did offer the entry. But we're gonna have one loss and a 3-point gain. This was a 4-point RR trade. I gotta take that because I don't want to break my rules. Because if I fuck up and taking the secondary setup, which I'm not supposed to take, if I fucked up with that one, I don't want that to fuck up other ones like being features a day or something like that, right? So on this time, see model one got created. Eventually looking for this model one, market went up higher. It was another model one right over here, right? And this model one right over here delivered. In this case, the model one is too fat, and definitely makes sense for the market not to go to the threshold. Why? Because market did a big ass dump. Because a big ass dump is high likely not to retrace all the way back here just to give a setup just to go back lower, right? It wouldn't make sense. The entry would have been just on an auto block, stop loss right on the above the auto block, not the wick, because wick does the damage, but like does the theory, right? Sometimes it only applies if the market is not gonna go all over there, right? So and what else do we had here? This auto block had a very see the market profile is expansion, retracement, expansion, reversal, retracement, expansion, right? See how market expanded, but before the market expanded, it retraced. When you did a deep retracement, stops us out, right? So this is our initial entry. What is the lesson of this trade? The lesson of this trade is simply to take the initial entry, not a secondary entry, right? Because the market, as you guys know, market only gives you one entry a day. Everything else is gonna be manipulation. And this is backed by proof. I have had clients talk about this shit. I enter, I get stooped out and goes right back to my entry. But it says, oh yeah, but I had entry around here, right? But that's supposed to be a main entry. So this entry right over here you entered, which is a manipulation what a market likes to do, right? To just gather dumb money, right? Because they missed the main entry point, which is right over here. As you guys know, market does not favor or disfavor anybody. It just is, right? So when this market stops us out, it's not disfavoring us, right? It just is. So we should be smarter to use this as our entry and not this as our entry, right? And it's just we could have just been a little smarter. And am I mad about the losses? Fuck no, I'm zero fucks losses. I don't care about the losses. I care about the lesson out of this, right? And the lesson of the week ended, and the lesson is you can see how this is my only entry I'm supposed to have throughout the week, right? This entry happened after 2 weeks of no trades. Keep that in mind. 2 weeks of no trades. And that after 2 weeks, it gave me the perfect setup. That was a win, right? You can see after 2 weeks, it gave me one setup. So that means patience is a position, right? Flat is a stance. And you only enter when the market proves it, not when your emotion begs for it. Over here, my emotion begs for entry. I listen to, my viewers, right? Because, respectfully, I'm not trading for applause. I'm trading for position. The viewers are here to watch me lead, not to lead me, right? And, my edge is on my discipline, not their opinions, right? So that's the lesson of this as well. The other lesson is position is a stance. Flat is a position is patience is a position, right? Flat is a stance. I only enter when the market proves it. Now when emotion beg for it, right? This right here, emotion beg for it. That low over there, emotion beg for it because I was thinking about my P&L. I was thinking about focusing on the outcome. I was thinking about, passing that account. I was thinking about, I was filming in, right? I had problems over there. but that's never gonna happen again. I do not let that mistake happen again. I do not let the same mistake happen again, right? So we had a entry here, beautiful. You can see how after 2 weeks, market gave us one setup, and that setup was beautiful setup. You can see how patience pays off. Eventually, market is gonna give your type of entries. Eventually, market gonna give you type of, rules entries, right? Because you have rules, market will give you that, perfect entry like that, right? He's not gonna fuck around with you. He's gonna give you that perfect entry, which happened on this after 2 weeks of no trade. So those 2 weeks, I had a position, and that position was just to take a break, right? Every day not trading, you're taking a break from the trading, right? So you don't have to get out the market. You're just taking a break. Every day your rules not there, you're taking a break. It's a cool day off, right? And eventually, when you're not taking a break, you're on risk, and something's gonna make money more. You're gonna make money more than you lose money, right? And today's case, in that case, we didn't lose money. We lost money because we had some psychology problem. But the main lesson of the week is position. Patient is a position. Stance is flat. A stance. A flat is a stance. I only trade when the market proves it, not when management backs for it. I don't trade for applause. I trade for position. The viewers are here to watch me lead, not to lead me. My edges on my discipline, not their opinions, right? And the other lesson is, for a near continuation, the London session or the HTMX must make the high of the day, or high of the day or low of the day, right? It cannot be the 5 a.m. If the 5 a.m. makes a high or low of the day, I'm looking for a near Russell. I'm not looking for a near continuation, right? And what the next lesson is? Next lesson is, I cannot form win. I'm no longer gonna look at my P&L. I'm no longer gonna be looking at the outcome. I'm gonna be primarily focused on the process. I'm not gonna look at my, and I will not look at my, funding papers account, or how much I'm up, how much I'm down, until every 2 to 3 weeks, right? Because so it doesn't make me focus on the P&L, right? And I'm gonna focus on the long term, not short term. I'm not gonna break my rule. I'm going to take the first initial entry, no secondary setups, because market committed plays and go back lower. And I will not be greedy on my setups. If the market sends me 2 RR, just want to take profit, I'm taking it. I don't care. I'm not gonna think about high RRs. I'm gonna take low RRs. 2 RR, 2 RRs are good. Right when I'm marking up the 2 RR, I'm taking it, right? Regardless if it's, I'm not gonna set anyone else to take profit. I'm gonna have awareness. I'm gonna know, okay, I'm gonna be smart. Okay, this low is protected, so this market's not highly down to go this low because the low is protected. Because there's S&P divergence, right? So, and it's Friday. And Thursday and Friday, you guys know, market will not go there, because you need to go for risk to take profit. You must need to close in a fair price. Market, because what did the market do this week, right? It closed in a fair price, right? So yeah, that's what happened. And yeah, thanks for watching. Make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe, share. That's the lesson of the week. Make sure you guys ponder over this, and there's a lesson. Be wise and learn from me as well. Because you see that I just showed you guys multiple, I just give you guys a lot of lessons, right? To have awareness, to be smart, right? That, okay, this also has SMT, so, and it's Friday, Thursday, then it's Thursday and Friday. So Thursday and Friday is highlighted to go in anywhere far, because you need to close in a fair price for the market to close in a fair price, right? You need to have awareness and be smart. If you're watching, make sure you guys join the Discord, it's down below. Make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe, share, and see you guys later. Peace out.